So the first step in teaching your children God's word using the classical model is to build biblical knowledge through memorization. Memorization is something your kids are already very good at. And there's a bonus. In Psalm 119:11, it says, "Thy word have I hidden in my heart, that I might not sin against thee." You see, the knowledge that we gain about God's word actually allows us to follow Jesus better. As a result, there's a level of discipleship that happens just by learning God's word. There are three elements to any memorization process. Those are frequency, duration, and intensity. Frequency has to do with your initial presentation of something. If you're going to repeat it several times, and the way that you repeat it, we'll talk about that when we get to intensity, but frequency is, let's do it over and over and over again, maybe 7 times before the student is able to actually articulate that memorized content back to you without messing up too much. That is frequency. We do it several times, and maybe we do it one day, and we do several times the next day, and we do several times the next day. That's frequency. Once we have the memorized content at our ready recall that we can actually recite it without messing up too much, we can go into what's called duration. Duration is about repeating that memorized content over a longer period. Initially, we're going to recite it every day, but then we'll slow down a little bit and recite it maybe every other day, then once a week, then once a month, until finally we get to the point where we can actually do retention, where maybe we're only reciting it maybe once every 3 months or 6 months. And that's what's going to allow for lifetime retention of memorized content. Now, the best part about memory is adding intensity. Intensity can be done organizationally, or it can be done in terms of your presentation. From an organizational standpoint, memorized content can have rhyme or rhythm and even music. You can set the stuff that you want to memorize to music, make sure it has rhyme or it has rhythm. If you can add those elements in to your actual memorized content or organize it in a way, you can have the best possible memorization experience. The other side of intensity has to do with presentation. Maybe you can have actions that go with your memorized content. That does nothing but help a student when they're ready to recall and recite that information. Any recitation can also be made more fun by adding game elements into it. So for example, if you're playing freeze tag, in order to unfreeze another player, perhaps you have to say John 3:16, and then you can both run away unfrozen, right? This is how we can add game elements to any recitation and make it a whole lot more fun. Now we're ready to talk about what we've learned, what we've committed to memory. So let's watch the next video that talks about fostering understanding through conversation.